Hello, my friends. Today's date is January the 16th, and this is a reading for you if this is your birth date, or if this is an anniversary or a special occasion date, but primarily this is a birthday reading for the year to follow. It is a four-card pull, a general energy card of something that might sustain through the year in energy, or an energy that might be very so pronounced that you have to take it into consideration and alter courses and or do things to find balance. So, and then there is a challenge card, a particular challenge card for January 16th, folks. And then an action to take to stay in balance, and then an outcome or a synopsis card, mostly a synopsis card generally, that says what more about what this is really all about. So this is the um, general energy card for the year for January 16th, folks. And it is the heart. So the heart is really, in Ayurvedic medicine, the heart is the bridge between the everyday and the super special, between the consciousness and the unconsciousness, between the animal instincts of self and the higher reasoning of self, the human and the animal, if you want to see it that way. It's also, the heart is also the bridge between the lower chakras, the first three chakras which are all about the self and keeping the self safe and getting what the self wants and defining the self in the way that the self wants it to be defined. So those can be very self-centered ways. And then the heart is the bridge because the heart opens us to communing with others. Love, we want love. We taste love, we want love. We want to be outside of ourselves. We want to be with somebody else or something else. We want to co-create with others. We want to speak with others. We want to speak with the universe. We want to speak with Creator. We want to co-create with Creator, with our highest selves to make our art and to make our beauty and to make our voice heard and to give us a sense to speak. And we want to communicate with every being and find that mutual understanding that allows us to work toward peace and understanding and cooperation rather than the sense of just being alone and on one's own and abandoned by everything else or messed up or by everything else or hateful toward everything else, including ourselves. So the heart is that bridge that allows us to heal all these different layers of ourselves and find our voice, allows us to find our understanding, our compassion, allows us to fall in love and be in love with people and things, allows us to not get stuck in our ego definition of ourselves, but merge into a more universal consciousness of full beings, allows us to go after our wants as long changing our wants for higher things, holier things, more sacred things that give us purpose and meaning and understanding and that don't lock us into our fears and our pains and our griefs and our judgments, and gives us a sense to feel safe beyond these physical bodies, because the spirit bodies are here and they're going to go to the next place, and the physical bodies are going to be dropped. So the physical body is an illusion. So the heart teaches us about the illusion of giving all the power to the physical body and the self-centered parts of ourselves. So the heart is that bridge, and that's the question this year. How is your heart being the bridge for you? And this is the particular challenge for you, the moon. So the moon, generally the moon talks about being so attached to one's emotions that one rides the waves of bliss and pain and fear and bliss and getting stuck in negative emotions. But this is the cycle the humans have to go through. So the moon is about high emotional, high intuitive understandings, high emotional weavings, uh, the ability to go through light and dark, surrender, the ability to, face death and go through death and come back on the other side, rebirth. So, what is this all talking about? Well, I think it says you're swept up in your emotions at some point this year, and I think your heart is a key, but it's really hard to hear your heart if your mind is racing and your body is plunged into either despair or over activities. It's hard to hear your heart if you're wanting things that you can't have, or you're wanting people that you can't have, or you're wanting situations that are not being presented to you, and you feel like all you're abandoned, or you're lost, or you're unloved, or whatever is the negative emotion underneath it. But at the core of this is the moon is really about seeking balance, and the only way to seek balance when the moon has such a strong effect is to listen to your intuitions. Is because you can't really see, you're in the midst of all this water, you can't really see. Everything might feel and seem murky, but you gotta feel into yourself, and you gotta stay close to your heart and your intuitions, and you got to let your heart lead you. Your mind can't figure it out. Your mind can't find the placement of it. Your mind can't understand it on its bigger levels, because this is about your heart this year. This is about that deep level of love and compassion and forgiveness that the heart offers to us. The heart is the healer. That the heart offers to us to heal ourselves and our old pains. But sometimes we can't see our old pains. We can only feel them deeply, and oftentimes want to run away from them, oftentimes not want to face them. But that, I think, is exactly what it is being offered to you. Uh, so, what causes that? Well, it often comes from somebody bothering you. It comes from somebody putting boundaries on you, or nagging at you, or confusing you, or maybe a whole bunch of things are confusing you, and a whole bunch of people are overrunning your your uh, your boundaries and your borders. Maybe you've been enabling a lot of people because you feel like you are supposed to help and you're supposed to serve, but helping and serving at the cost of being bombarded by other people's psychic junk and or their physical confrontations is difficult when you're a very psychic person and you feel a lot of the emotional stuff that's going on for people, even if they don't recognize it. So the moon is here to teach us about how to feel into ourselves and how to feel into others with more clarity and less bombardment of energies. So how do you do that? This is the action to take. It's the armadillo. Like the tough skin of the armadillo, you got to put up some thick shields, baby. You got to put up some boundaries that are really clear and really clean. You got to set some good groundwork that says, I will allow this in my circle of togetherness and love and closeness. Then I have another layer of circle that I will allow, kind of the everyday things that I can't really control, but I know that I have to be a part of, and I have to have an interchange with. But on the outside of that circle, there's another strong line that says, no, I will not allow this in my life. You will not. You are not allowed to touch me in that way. You are not allowed to speak to me in that way. You are not allowed to uh, invade my boundaries in any way, in any shape, in any form, and you are outside of my circle, and I close myself off to you, and I set you out there, and blessed be, and go on your way, and I give you light, and I send you love, and I want you to heal, and here's the light of healing. So now go and stay out of my circle. This is my boundary. This is my clear energy. This is my armadillo shell that you are not going to interfere with and bother and harm and crush, because no, you are not getting in to me. So this is really about final card about taking care of your heart. Look at this, soul cards without any interpretation other than what's intuited. So this is about taking care of your heart. Maybe this is even a year to look at your physical heart and say, what is going on with my physical heart? But your emotional heart is really, I think, at the core of all of this, and saying, how do I protect my emotional heart? How do I put up good boundaries that don't let people walk all over me, and don't let people invade my personal space, my private space, my my own understandings, unless there's a mutuality of respect that wants to work out something and wants to go deeply with something and wants to honor something and respect something. But if things are and people are not respecting you, then this is a powerful year for you to learn how to set really good boundaries that protect your heart. Protect your heart. Blessed be.